Hi everyone, Bernard here, hope you're all very well. Welcome to my film and TV channel, and today we have a film review, and it's an interesting one. It's strange title, An American Pickle. Yeah, it's HBO Max production. So we're going to have a look at that today, please. If you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Make sure your notifications are set to public so you get to know when these things are coming out. And please, I was aiming for 500 subscribers by Christmas 2020. We went through that. We got through that. So all my appreciation to everyone who's subbed to me. That's wonderful. If you haven't done the sub, please do so. And check all the playlists for movie and TV dramas, some quizzes and poster and movie reviews, stuff like that. Lots of stuff on TV and film, so please check that out. And also you will notice some football vlogs as well on my football team, Manchester City. I do little vlogs past and present, so City history and City now. So if you or anyone you know might be interested in that, please point them in my direction, and if you get them to sub as well, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Be much appreciated. Please, all comments are welcome on this film or anything you want to comment about. And if the comment needs a response, I will try and respond to you accordingly. Otherwise, I might just give you a thumbs up if it's just a comment that doesn't really need a response. That's fantastic, and be much appreciated. And I said thumbs ups are always nice from you as well, so no, it's nice to get views, but it's nice to get some thumbs up, isn't it? So if you can give us a thumbs up while you're watching this, that's absolutely fantastic. It only takes a second, doesn't it? Right, American Pickle 12A. This is actually, as I'm recording this, out to buy tomorrow. So I'm recording it on the 6th of December. This is available to buy from the 7th of December online and at local stores here in the UK. Please check your territories. It's £9.99 on DVD, so not badly priced. 88 minutes is about the normal price for let's say a bigger budget film. Obviously, the sort of straight to DVD Blu-ray films are usually about £6.99, £7.99. So this one's £9.99. As I said, it's streamed on HBO Max. So it's been streaming for 2 or 3 months on there. What's it about? Well, it's an immigrant worker at a pickle factory is accidentally preserved for 100 years and wakes up in modern-day Brooklyn. So obviously based on that synopsis, it's not to be taken too seriously, is it? Sort of comedy fantasy sort of thing. Directed by Brandon Trost. The screenplay, and actually based on his short story, was by Simon Rich, something called Sellout. So if you've read Sellout and you want to see the film version of it, this is it. It stars, of course, Seth Rogan, who does a couple of parts, a dual part, Sarah Snook and Molly Evanson. How's it doing? Well, it's not done too bad, actually. Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 73% positivity rating. That's based on 154 reviews, which is quite good. Overall, it's getting 6.2 out of 10, so just above that little magical 6 out of 10 watchable rating that I like to see. 154 reviews, 113 of those are fresh, so that's good. But a fair proportion of rotten, 41 rotten, so not totally universal acceptance of this one. And the Rotten Tomatoes consensus, this is what they put together on the critics. An American Pickle lacks the tart snap viewers might expect given its creative premise. But Seth Rogen's dual performance makes this a low-key comedy to relish. Yeah, low-key comedy, an interesting comment there. The audience not as impressed, so obviously it's one of these where the critics sort of like it more than the audience, which doesn't always bode well, does it? Audience is 48% positivity. That's based on 546 reviews and scores, so that's quite a lot. Metacritics, how do they think? Well, they're not quite as impressed as Rotten Tomatoes. They're only giving it a 58% positivity based on 39 critics, and that's 20 critics are positive, 17 are quite mixed, and just 2 are negative. So not too bad, just a couple of negatives. And he does score anywhere between 4 out of 10 and 7.5 out of 10, so quite a wide range. One of the lowest marks was 5 out of 10 from Arizona Republic's Bill Goody Kuntz. There you go, that's a good name, isn't it? And he said, An American Pickle is the kind of movie that never quite decides what it wants to be. Pick a lane, as they state, otherwise you're all over the place. Yeah, I would echo a little bit of that, I must admit. And one of the people who do like it was Michael Phillips from the Chicago Tribune. He gave it 7.5 out of 10. He wrote, this one's more than one kind of comedy. It's a sweet yet nicely vinegary immigration fable, a deadpan fantasy, and a tale of two Brooklyns. I think he's sort of falling in line with the other guy said, isn't he? With stick to one lane. One, 1920 Brooklyn, a repository of rat-infested factories and Eastern European Jewish immigrants. And the other, 2020 Brooklyn, the gentrified land of their progressive pea milk drinking great-grandchildren. Yeah, it's an interesting, obviously, juxtaposition, isn't it, between the two. That's what made the potential of this film for me anyway. Internet Movie Database, here we go. You, me, Joe Public, normal people. 5.7 out of 10. So again, similar to the Rotten Tomatoes audience rating, it's just under that 6 mark. So perhaps not as magical and as watchable as Rotten Tomatoes and the Metacritics would. Well, certainly Rotten Tomatoes would have you believe. So 5.7 out of 10. That's based on almost 14,000 scores and reviews. 13,865 as I'm recording this. Some of the headlines, some of the statements. Pickle of fun entertainment. Not a classic Seth Rogan movie. Different for Seth Rogen, but still enjoyable. This is a social commentary for today. Oh, it's very deep. Great work, someone else said. Some of the more negative things, waste of time, just boring. I should, but I don't. In other words, I should like it, but I don't. And the sort of summary for me, just someone did comment, and this could have been me writing, this could have been a whole lot more. Yeah, because this... Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. My little Bernard's thoughts on behalf of MGM, Movie Game Nostalgia. I mean, it does actually, looking through all the reviews, it does seem to split Rogan fans, this one. Some people like it, some people don't, as one of his, obviously a little bit lighter perhaps from some of his other roles. As a film, I'm not really bothered about whether it's Seth Rogen. I'm just looking at the whole package and whether it entertains me. It's a comedy, so it's supposed to be funny. Most of the written reviews do appear to be positive, which is good in a way, because obviously I don't, as you know, if people just leave a score and leg it, I don't like that. If someone leaves a 1 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, I like to have the reasons behind it. But obviously not everyone wants to do that. Some people just want to leave a score. Some people haven't got the time, have they? Yeah, so most of the written reviews do appear positive, despite this less than 6 rating. So there's a lot of scores left that were quite low compared to what the reviews I've seen. Yes, the ability and the seamless way Rogan plays both parts is very, very good. It's excellent. But again, so what? You know, in the technology these days, I'm not overly impressed with that, to be honest with you. I do perhaps like a film more where you could perhaps see the join. You know what I mean? I'm not really... Obviously with CGI these days, I do like a little bit of original, you know, sort of the original stuff, and I do like to see the joining filmed. I'm not too much into this clinical sort of way it's done, but yeah, all right, it's excellently done. But so what? It did interest me, the film, but it didn't ever blow me away. There's some excellent sets, some good acting, and a very interesting premise as well. An interesting idea. I mean, it's been done in certain ways before, but it never quite delivers what we want from a comedy, that's for sure. Laughs wise, I don't think I ever laughed once throughout it. I might have smiled a couple of times, but you know, that might have been wind. I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's never quite delivers what I want from a comedy or the entertainment. This sort of thing, even if it's not funny, I want to be entertained, and it's okay, but it doesn't quite deliver. It's warm-hearted, it's sweet, and yes, it's obviously far too good to be true with the story, but it's a fantasy element, isn't it? So it should be a fantasy turn your brain off and enjoy thing, but it never quite sort of gave me that enjoyment either from an entertaining turn your brain off point of view. I try not to think too much about it. I didn't find it particularly funny, as I said. It's just nice, quirky. But nice and quirky doesn't always equal humour, does it? So and certainly a film where a man is out of his time or out of his place, if you like. I mean, there's been quite a few over the years. It's obviously, I would expect a little bit more from that sort of film. You know, it's just doesn't impress me, obviously, from what I saw. Interesting storyline, just turns out a little bit routine, unfortunately. And the poor ending, I mean, it's a really poor ending. And so any sort of brownie points it's got during the film is totally wiped out by a very poor ending, which sort of just wipe out any pluses I gave it in watching the film. And it left a sour taste in my mouth, because the film was okay-ish. It didn't quite expand as well as perhaps it should have done. It didn't make me laugh. And then all of a sudden you get an ending that's pretty flat, that just ruins the whole any credence it had with me. It sort of was totally dashed by the ending. So overall, well packaged, but a bit lame in my opinion, unfortunately. So I'm going to give it my I won't put you off watching it. As I say, there are some okay bits in it, and as I say, based on what I've seen from certain reviewers that are legitimate reviews, from what I can see, they're not by people connected with the film, so a lot of people do like it. So I'm going to give it my sat on the fence 5.5 out of 10. Well, I don't think it was that good, but obviously I'm not going to put you off watching it if you're a Seth Rogan fan, because some do like it, some Seth Rogan fans don't like it, so obviously it'd be up to you to make your decision, isn't it? But let me know in the comments what you think anyway if you sit down and watch this film. But I'm going to give it the film 5.5 out of 10. So as I said, a little bit disappointing to what I wanted out of this. The posters, yeah, well, there's a couple of posters. There's that one that I've shown you in the build-up with the cucumber with the Statue of Liberty. I thought that was okay, actually. I quite like that one. But obviously the one they're harping on about and more or less promoting the film on, obviously, is that one that looks as a bit of a lighthouse feel, doesn't it? Remember the Lighthouse film? That's obviously a much darker film than this. Yeah, I mean, there's that sort of feel to it. And apparently it was taken with a preserved camera made in the 19th century. So that's obviously, you know me, I like my history, so perhaps that does earn itself a little brownie point for me for the poster. But overall, all that says to me is I'm going to give it 5 out of 10 instead of 4. So yeah, I mean, all right, I'll give it the extra point for being done on an original camera, which is fantastic and stuff I like to see. But it's not the greatest poster. Even if you like Seth Rogan, you probably won't like him as that image anyway. So yeah, I'll give the film victory just today. So I say, if I was marking the cucumber one, perhaps I would have given that 6 out of 10 for the cucumber one, but I say that's not the one that was the real promotion behind the film, unfortunately. I think that was more a HBO original one that sort of did the rounds. So yes, the film 5.5 out of 10, and the poster just 5 out of 10, unfortunately. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please check my links on screen. If you follow and friend me on Facebook and Twitter, I do check and follow everyone back every couple of days. And I used to have a little video shop, if you've watched these before, in the 90s and 2000s in Manchester. And I still sell old and rare DVDs now online at moviegamenostalgia.com. And I do sell posters from the time I had my video shop. So there's a few thousand posters in the back there. It's dwindling. I mean, I used to have about 6,000 or 7,000, probably down to about 5,000 or 6,000 now. I've sold quite a lot over the years, obviously. So some great films, some great posters from the 90s and 2000s. So you can check the posters out on that site, and also have some board games on there as well. So if that's of any interest to you, please check that out. Thank you very much. There you go. Anyway, let me know in your comments what you think if you get to see this, or about anything you want to talk about. That's absolutely wonderful. What we're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Until we meet again here on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps you flit over to my football channel, if that's a football channel, if that's of any interest to you. Perhaps we'll meet on there. But until we do, please stay safe, everyone. Verna's saying goodbye for now.